Okay, excellent. So how's everybody doing today? Staying cool? I just had a talk with my daughter who's in Las Vegas. She runs my warehouse and shipping department. And she said, oh, she's lived there for, I don't know, maybe six or 8 years. And she said she's never felt it like it is right now. It's just so hot. Like last night at 9 or 10, it was like 100 and something, 105 or something, at night. She really, and she never complains. She really never complains about the heat and just loves it there in Vegas. But boy, she's experiencing something she hasn't experienced before. So everybody staying out of the floods and
Can we find out where everybody's from?
oh yeah. Why don't we start? I'll call on you using just going across the board as I see it. So Susie, you're first. Where are you from?
You have to unmute.
There we go. I think you're unmuted now. Oops, no. There. Oh no.
Can you unmute her?
I'm trying to. Can I unmute her? I can ask. Oh, there she goes.
I'm Mississippi.
Mississippi. Oh, so you're hot and humid.
Very.
Yeah.
Almost 100.
Almost
Wow.
100 already, and it's 2 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 o'clock there. Okay. Well, stay in, stay cool, stay safe. Really, seriously, it's yeah. Anyway, take care of yourself. Okay, Diane.
I'm from Southern California, San Diego.
Oh, nice. Okay, it's perfect down there.
Pretty much. It's a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
cloudy on the coast. I live on the coast.
Yeah. So do I. I live here in Ventura, and we're still completely sucked in with a marine layer, right?
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I love. Grateful for that. All right, Candace, how about you?
I'm from the North Shore of the Chicago area, Highland Park, Illinois.
Oh, lovely. Have you had smoke from the fires?
We had the distinction 2 weeks ago, I guess, where we had the worst air quality in the world. In the world.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and you could feel it. I mean, there was a haze, but your throat would get dry. And I have a lung condition, so I really had to stay inside. But yeah, it's just hot now. It's not so terrible from the Canada smoke.
And do you get humid as well there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not like Florida or Mississippi or whatever, but we have Lake Michigan, so we'll get some humidity from that, but it's usually not as bad as some places.
Yeah. Wow. Well, glad you're here and glad the air is a little bit better.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Nancy. Let's see. Can you, excuse me, can you unmute yourself? I'm going to let you, we still can't hear you, so I'm going to let you work on that, and I'm going to move on to Joanne, but I'll come back to you. Okay, Nancy? Joanne, let's see, you need to be unmuted as well. I don't see where I can do it. I guess I need to do some research. Oh,
did I? It was a
yeah,
sign
now,
up.
now you are.
I was looking for it on my icon, but it wasn't there. Anyway, I'm from southern New England, Rhode Island. If some people haven't heard of it. Anyway, I'm sitting on my front porch. I'm very close to Narragansett Bay with a wonderful breeze coming through. So I'm lucky. Temperature's 81.
Oh, so really nice temperature.
Very nice.
And flooding, you're okay with the flooding situation?
So far, they keep warning about aerial flooding, but it hasn't happened so far. But we are scheduled, I think, for some more heavy rain coming in, maybe tonight or I don't know. But anyway, so far so good.
Excellent. Stay safe. Stay safe. Nancy, looks like you're unmuted.
I'm from Michigan. This is
Oh.
my husband's thing with Zoom, so I can't get rid of the thing behind me. So I just put
Oh,
that on.
that's okay.
Appropriate.
I'm sorry.
Looks like you won a trophy. That's got to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blue.
excellent. We're really glad you're here. We're really
Yeah.
glad you're here. And Deb.
Hi, I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, hi.
Beautiful area. And so you're warm as
And my
well
cat
right now.
my cat keeps getting into the screen. He likes to participate.
Don't they? They want to get in between you and your computer is what I've decided.
Me and
That's-
everything, yeah.
Yeah. What a cutie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, mine's napping over on the chair, so she's going to leave us alone today. Liz Tanzer.
Oh, hi, I'm from New York, from Staten Island.
Oh, excellent.
It's 87 degrees here, but I am dealing with some skin cancer issues right now, so I'm staying out of the sun. Total.
Oh, good for
Absolutely.
you. Good for you. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to
I grew
hear
up on
that.
the beach, and I guess I'm paying my dues now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I hope you're on the mend. I hope.
I am. Thank you.
Are you? Okay, good. Well, you take care of yourself. It's worth staying out of the sun for a little while to get better.
Happy to be home and knitting.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Dixie.
My home is in Southwest Missouri, Forsyth, but I'm knitting this summer in Broomfield, Colorado, while I cover for a sabbatical for a friend.
For a what?
A friend of mine is on sabbatical, so I'm preaching for her.
Excellent. So Colorado has some smoke.
I haven't noticed it, but
Oh,
then
really?
again, I don't live here.
Yeah.
We've got an air quality alert today, so I'm sure there's something, but it's not quite 80 degrees, so it's a pleasant day.
Excellent. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you. Chris?
I'm from Pacifica, California. I'm a mile from the beach. It's nice and temperate here. In fact, I wore a heavy jacket to go walk on the beach this morning.
Yes. So Pacifica, you're up near San Francisco.
18 miles south of San Francisco and
Yeah.
18 miles west of San Francisco International Airport.
Yeah.
So,
I went there for the first time probably 6 or 8 years ago when for the last time that I did the PCH drive, and I left San Marin, left the friends in San Marin, and came down
came down the
through
coast.
Yeah, it was a beautiful drive.
It is a gorgeous drive, but not today because the heat over in the valley has brought everybody to the coast. Traffic is bumper to bumper for miles. So
yeah,
I was lucky to get to the beach and then get back in time.
Oh goodness.
I was sitting in traffic.
Oh, well, you're lucky you're on the coast, because I know inland
complain.
Yeah.
I really can't complain.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Ruth, where are you from? Nope. We'll come back to you. Oh, there you are.
It was on the bottom and I was hitting the button on the top. Didn't work. I'm from New York, Western New York, up near Orange County.
Oh, okay, okay. Very nice, very nice. Beautiful area. Lots of woods there.
Oh, a lot of woods. Yes, we're in the
Oh,
country.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. I've never visited.
1,000 people.
Oh, a town of 1,000 people?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I've never been to New York before, and I would just love to drive up near some of that country and or through some of that country.
Well, it's
So.
so different. My son was stationed on Long Island for a while, and we went down there. And then New York City is completely different, and we're up in the country. We've got cows, sheep, alpaca farms.
Lovely, lovely. Well, that's what I want to do. I want to drive through the countryside.
So stop by and say hi.
I will.
About
I
the third farm on your left.
Oh, I'll remember that. Thank you, Ruth.
Oh, you're welcome. You take care.
You too. Karen S. And then we have a Cheryl. Maybe
Yes.
they've had
Yeah,
to step
no,
away.
I'm here. I'm in
Oh.
the San Francisco Bay Area, El Sobrani. So our weather this morning when I walked, it was very foggy and windy, very windy. It's come up a little bit. I just checked, it's around 70 degrees now. So I'm not east part of the county, so I'm not going to get hot, I don't think.
No, it's interesting. It's kind of a misnomer. I lived in Santa Cruz for several years, many years ago. And I moved from like the Pacific Northwest, and I thought, oh, I'm moving to California. And so my children were small then, and I packed everything up first chance I got and went to the beach and in the middle of the summer and absolutely froze to death.
So
I didn't realize that the summer it's colder on the beach during the central coast or on the central coast of California than it is actually in the fall. So that was my rude awakening to that. Okay, well, welcome everyone. So happy to have you here. So we're knitting. Everybody's working on, who's working on the Tulsa tank?
I haven't started yet.
Haven't started yet. That's
Oh,
quite
wait,
all right.
I'm on the Lakewood tape.
And then who's the Lakewood?
I'm not doing both. I raised my hand for the wrong one.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's roughly half and half. Oh, here's Kathy. Hi, welcome Kathy, Regina. We're glad to have you here. We're just getting started. We kind of did a little introduction of where we all are. So we have everywhere from Long Island and Staten Island and all the way to San Francisco to the West Coast. So isn't that wonderful? I mean, we're so fortunate. Think of, we never used to be able to do things like this. I'm just so thrilled to see you all and to be able to listen to everyone's, everyone has different experiences where they live, whether you're living in a town of 1,000, you're living, right near San Francisco where it's busy and you're right in the thick of it. So welcome, welcome. So first of all, does anybody want to say where they're at, what they're doing, and tell us maybe challenges or successes?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm still working on the ribbing, the twisted ribbing on the bottom because I'm slow. Anyway,
I haven't even started. So
it says that you should do it for 1.25 inches. Is it a big deal if you make it, like I would like a wider ribbing at the bottom? Can I go to 2 inches? Is there going to be a problem?
No, I mean, as long as you don't use up all, too much of your yarn, and run out.
I shouldn't because I'm doing the smaller size. So
yeah, you should be fine.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else have anything to add? Something? Yes, Liz.
So, oh God, up close to this heart. Oh my God.
Oh, you look
close up.
lovely.
So anyway, my first time doing a 3-needle bind off, I was very excited about that because I've
It's
never
gorgeous.
done that before. So I have that, and now I am up to seaming together, which I've never done before either. I was hoping to get some input from here because I guess you seam from the ribbing side up this way to the armhole.
Yes, that's what I would do. What I did on mine, and I can't believe anyway, what I did on mine is I I put those locking stitch markers.
These?
Yeah, I used some of the smaller ones to kind of put two edges together. You know, to put the two edges together, like I put one at the top of the ribbing because you want everything to meet perfectly. So I put one at the top of the ribbing, at the very where your left hand is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, up near the top of the yeah, keep going up further up the body where the ribbing ends.
Oh,
So see, I put one there so that I made sure that it matched perfectly there. And then I put a couple more as it went on, and then of course one right at the armhole. And then when I laid it flat, then I knew that I wasn't going to take too much of one side or too much of the other. So that I was going to meet at the crucial places exactly where I wanted to meet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just, I have to YouTube how to stitch that actually.
Right. And so then use a YouTube. I forgot to pull that one up.
Pam, can I also add something to that?
Absolutely.
My neighbor is an older knitter. She's knitted for over 50 years, and she taught me a trick. If you have some smaller straight knitting needles that you no longer really use, that you can kind of hold those two seams together by sort of threading the needle through in a couple different spots so it holds it. Does that make sense?
Vertically or horizontally?
If the seam is vertical, it would go vertical. If the seam is horizontal, it would go horizontal. So
okay, so along the raw
your
edge.
garment, and you'd stick the needle like through in one spot, come out in another, and through and it just holds it even together. But you don't have to do it right on the seam. You can do it a few inches in.
But then how do you open it and lay it flat if you have it like that?
Well, after you're done stitching, then you take that needle out.
I know, but how do you stitch it? Because it needs to be flat to stitch.
Oh, well, she showed me how to do this kind of, you take from one side and then you take from the other, and then,
right.
Yeah.
And
you do it flat?
I lay both edges together. I can't, hold on 1 second. Let me go get another swatch.
I think there are many different ways to seam and item.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must be a lot of different ways. Well, it might be easier just to do to show you on YouTube really quickly.
Can we get the YouTube address once?
Yeah, once I show it, I'll put them all in the chat, and you can have all of them.
But can you pull that up from the recording?
Yeah, yeah, I'll put it underneath the recording. Yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't do that in the other one. I don't know how.
You should be able to see underneath. Can everybody see my screen now?
I'll do mattress stitch.
I mean, there's a million of them, but so that one stitch in on your Tulsa tank, that one stitch in is that garter stitch edge. That's your one stitch, right?
So does it matter which side of the work is facing up?
Yeah, you want your right side facing up.
Okay.
Okay, so with the so you can see why up here, can you see my mouse as well? Moving. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why, you know, a few inches up here, like say, like I said, at the top of the ribbing, or the top of the ribbing, and then a few inches above that, I put a locking stitch marker right there, because you know, these samples are very even, everything's the same exact size, but you know, your two sides may be just slightly different, and it's very easy to get kind of off kilter. So I like to make sure that I say, okay, at this point I'm going to have everything all sewn up to this point, and then things don't get to where this one is more pinched and that one is stretched. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
Jen,
then, and then
question on this piece, we did that selvage edge, which gave a little bump on the side. Are those bumps supposed to line up? Will they show when you sew it together?
okay, so no, the bumps won't show at all. The bumps won't show at all. And that was the next thing I was going to say. Here, she has one rather thin layer of knitting, and here's another kind of really thin. And so you're putting them together. She's taking every single bar and it's looking beautiful. If you took every single bar and every single, on the Tulsa tank, it would be too bulky and your seam would get really fat. So I would not take every single bar on the Tulsa. So go to the right of that bump on the Tulsa tank, go just to the right. And I took 2 bars on the Tulsa tank. And then you go over to the other side and you take 2 bars on the other side. I'm going to share this link.
Okay.
With you guys so you can look at it in more detail later. But here, hold on, the chat. Okay, so there's that, and I promise I will make sure that I put this link below the recording as well, so that it will be live, and so the video will be above, and then if you look below in the description on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to click on the live link. But so, Diane, so to further answer your question, does that make sense to you yet right now, as far as the bumps, how you go just to the left and just to the right of those bumps, so that when you sew it together, you won't see the bumps at all, and just the plain stockinette will come together? Does that make sense? Okay, hold on 2 seconds. I'm so sorry, I forgot. I left mine in the other room. I was just getting ready to block it. I'll be back in 2 seconds, and I'll show you what it looks like when I finished. So here it is. Actually, let me put it down on the. So you can see how when it goes together, those little bumps ended up on the inside. And here's the outside, and it looks just perfect. Here's a stockinette, purl, stockinette when it went together. And it met perfectly here at the seam. And then as it goes up, it just takes the stockinette stitch. Things will get a little bit smoother once I block it. But does that make sense? And then all those little bumps, they end up on the inside.
Did you take 2 stitches? Did you go under 2 stitches with your needle, or did you skip one and then go under the second one?
No, I went under 2. I tried to do them closer, and it was just too thick. You know, there was too much yarn there, and it became really super, super bulky. As it is right now, it's created a nice, you can see it's not stretching, which is really good for this cotton yarn. This will keep the sweater. That's one reason why cotton yarn, it's good to have seams, because it keeps the sweater from sagging and stretch. Yeah, sagging and stretching. So
I have a question. When you line the 2 right sides up, does it matter if it's both right shoulders or one right shoulder, left shoulder, as far as the front and back?
yes, it matters. You're going to want to take
because they're both the same, right? Both
yeah,
shoulders.
so well, you're not going to be lining the shoulders up, so
right.
I guess
But I mean, does it matter, like, if I put my front on the right or the left? Does it matter?
Oh no, it just means you're going to be
okay.
doing one side or the other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't bound off my shoulders yet, so.
Got it. Yeah, it'll make sense once you
the shoulders, right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So one thing I like a lot of things about this sweater, but I just loved this edge finishing on it. Has anyone done that yet? I know that's kind of maybe getting ahead of us because we do have another session, but do you see how that just finished
That was
off?
my biggest question is I've never done that before, really. So, and it said something about joining in a circular.
Yeah. You'll start here at the bottom of the armhole and start picking up stitches. So let me go back to the camera.
Is that similar to the Dorothea tank then, around the armholes?
How did I get back here? There we go. I'd have to look at the pattern again for the Dorothea tank. I'm sorry, that's you, Kathy? Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I can't remember exactly how the Dorothea tank was done, but this one, you start here and you just pick up stitches as it says, and I think it said to take, 3 stitches for every 4 rows along the vertical. So here at the bottom, there were some flat stitches. So I put in every single stitch. I picked up a stitch, but then as it started to come up here and things started, you know, getting to the decrease areas, I would pick up 1, 2, 3, skip a 1, 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch, so that it kept it from, otherwise it would be too big and this would start kind of flanging out. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
so you pick up all along, all around, you pick up stitches until you have, you know, I used a shorter needle, a 16-inch needle. And then, so I had all my stitches and I was in a circle like this, and I'm back here at the armhole, at the bottom of the armhole. And then immediately, without knitting anything, you immediately start binding off. So you just pick up the one row, and then the next row, you just knit 2 stitches, bind the next one off, knit 2 stitches, bind the next one off. And so it turned this, you can see the nub here of the selvage that we turned under, that we knit, and it just turned that under beautifully and just made this edge. Kathy, is that how the Dorothea tank is done?
No, that's why I was wondering, because I before you said anything, I noticed the edge on this and thought how nice it looked. The Dorothea tank, you do knit a band on. It's almost a little cap type.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I like, so when you pick up the stitches, do you just pick them up or you pick up and knit?
No, you just pick them up. You just pick them up as usual, as
So you're not knitting.
yeah, not knitting it, just put your needle in like this. Pretend like this is a raw edge and that I haven't bound off. So here's the top of a stitch. The first one's always tricky to get that first one to come up. And then here's the next stitch. Go down, wrap it around. Maybe it'll come up better doing this. Wrap it around and bring it up.
And then that's what you bind off.
Go down, wrap it around, bring it up. And so you do that all the way around until you have all these stitches on the needle. It tells you that you're going to have approximately, well, I think I made a small, so I had approximately 70, but don't get too freaked out. I think maybe I knit, since I'm tall through the torso, I think I knit a little bit of extra room in the shoulders. So I had a few more stitches than 70. So if you've done any kind of adjusting like that, you're going to have a few more stitches in the armhole. But you don't want to have too many stitches, because, and you don't want to make that too long through there. Otherwise the armhole is going to be so wide that it'll show your undergarments. So there's a happy medium. But yeah, you just pick all these up, and then when you come back around, you'll knit 2, bind off, knit another one, put that one over this one, you know, just like a regular bind off. And it creates this lovely edge that I'm really kind of crazy about.
really nice.
Yeah, I just think it's beautiful. And like you said, Diane, this 3 needle bind off is just perfection. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So obviously, those of you knitting the Tulsa tank, you'll be farther along much more quickly because there's not as much knitting.
Is there a reason why the pattern doesn't tell you to leave the extra tail for doing the 3 needle bind off? I mean, because initially I just left a small tail and there's not enough yarn there. Luckily, I thought about it for the back and I left a long tail on the back. I mean, the front.
You mean to weave in?
No, to do the
bind off.
knitting of the bind off. Otherwise, you have
Oh,
to,
no,
otherwise
no,
you
I
have
just,
to tie in more yarn.
yeah, but you're not going to want to start at the top of the shoulder, picking up stitches. You're
No,
going
I
to want
mean
to
I mean for joining the shoulders, for doing the 3 needle bind off. The 3 needle,
oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
where you're attaching the shoulders.
yeah.
Like it doesn't tell you to leave a long tail. It just says
Oh,
yarn.
yeah, that's true. It doesn't. I guess I always tend to leave really long tails to everything. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there's so many little intricacies with knitting that it would be pretty much impossible for a pattern to say every little technique. And this is part of what the practice in knitting gets you is it gets you, you just know when you get to that point, say, oh, I read through the pattern. I mean, it really best practice is to read through the entire pattern before you ever start knitting, which I'm sure you did. And then you kind of go, okay, well, then when you get to it, you sort of know, well, I'm going to do a 3 needle bind off, so I need to leave some tail. And you just things get to be second nature for you. Right now, if this is your first or second, sweater, perfectly understandable. That would be something that only experience would tell you, I guess. So I think that's pretty much the Tulsa tank. I can't think of any. You do the same thing for the neck as you do, as far as picking up and binding off that beautiful thing. And then let me look at the Lakewood. Where's everybody on the Lakewood?
Not very
Still
far.
ribbing.
Ribbing.
I'm almost to the 13 and a half in the body.
Ooh, let me see.
Oh.
Here, let's spotlight you.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, you're kind of going into your background, but yeah.
Can you hold,
Uh-oh.
this is terrible, but can you hold it in front of your face?
I can.
Because your face is real clear.
Yeah, I think it's going into the background. It's thinking it's background. Your Zoom background thinks it's
I got you.
Yeah, there
very
we go. Okay.
That's beautiful.
It's lovely. And that's the Mayflower, right?
Yes. And I'm sort of dreading when you start on the sleeve. It's been a long time since I've done this. So somebody had put a note about having trouble with it. So are there any kind of hints or just go for it or what?
The sleeve shaping or what part?
Well, just when you bind off the yoke or whatever, and you go in, add I get the smaller needles or the shorter needles and go into knitting that before you get ready to attach it.
Oh, doing the short row shaping. Is that what you're talking? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are two schools of thought. There's wrap and turn, and there's what's called German short rows. And I'm going to give you links for both so that later on you can, look at them and choose whichever one you prefer.
Which one's easiest?
They're both easy. I mean, nothing in knitting is hard. It's just putting all the little pieces together, right? I mean, you kind of say, okay, what do I need to know for this next little tiny step? And then you go, oh, well, that's not so hard. What, it's not hard, I wouldn't say, but what is, what am I trying to say? Again, it's not hard, but getting the whole picture, and the more you knit, the more you'll sort of get the whole picture. And so you'll be able to take bits and pieces of what you learned here and apply it to something else, even if you've never done that very thing before. And that's the joy of knitting, right? Is always learning. There's always a new thing, a new technique. And I'm so grateful for YouTube, and my sister is constantly sending me these little reels that you get on Instagram and stuff. She's constantly sending me them, and it's like,
wow,
what was it? She just sent me one on it was a really cool bind off I'd never heard of before. I mean, there's all kinds of bind offs, and this just beautiful bind off. And so immediately I had to go try it, and it's not hard. You just follow that one little direction. And so now I have that in my toolbox for when I go to bind off. I know what that bind off looks like. And I'll think to myself, well, that one might look good here. It might finish off the hem of a sweater. When I was making it, I thought, oh, that would be, rather than just doing a thin bind off that sometimes curls a little bit in stockinette, this bind off was a little more substantial, just slightly wider. And it might just make the bottom of a sweater lie flat. So it's something that I'll try with that. So you're always constantly picking up new things. And that is the fun and the beauty. Okay, so this link that I just put into the chat is the wrap and turn. And this one right here is our German short rows. I personally love German, I forgot to put a title on that one, sorry. The last one is German short rows. And I personally prefer German short rows. So try them both. Nothing is difficult. It's just a matter of following the steps through. If you have any trouble, Susie, hop into the Facebook group, send me an email, whatever, I'm here, and there are a lot of other people here who know more than I do, and will be able to help you. So no worries.
I have a question. Am I the only one that just does not get magic loop?
I don't.
Took me forever.
I use double points. Double points. I feel very like a lot of achievement when I use double points, and so I don't mess with magic loop at all.
I thought it was just me, because my friend thinks it's so easy, and I'm like,
it is so easy.
It is always in the wrong place. I can't get, it gets too tight. I can't turn.
So I mean, I don't know if there needs to be another video. There's a million of them. I don't need to know if I need to do another one, but it is really, truly easy. Kathy. I swear it's easy.
I don't know. Can I jump in here? Oh, I'm
sure.
on here. No. This started out as a magic loop. Now it's big enough that it doesn't have to be. But I struggled with it forever. And all you do is find a spot in your piece where you pull the needles through so that it shortens it up and you can knit. And then when you get to that point, you find another point and shorten it up so that you've always got room to knit.
Yeah, I've done it that way too. And yeah, there is another way by which there's another way too, by which you just knit, and then you turn and you just pull one needle out and start knitting some more. So listen, Kathy, I'll put one together for you, or I'll here.
And there's YouTube videos that are very helpful.
Yeah. There's.
Oh, I know. I've tried. I mean, I found one that's the clearest that I've seen. I think it's Pearl Soho's, And, but it's still, she loses me when she does this and then turn and I'm like, I'm afraid I'm going back the wrong direction. And I've stalled out on the project I'm working on because I wanted to go buy double point needles.
I hate double point needles.
Well, now that we're on the topic, let's check this out here. Share my screen. So much talking.
Can't hear.
Should we be able to hear her?
Yeah, you can't hear?
Can't
No.
hear.
Okay, that's probably a problem with Zoom isn't allowing it because I've got you in my ear pods. Yeah, let me disconnect my ear pods and see if that helps.
Okay, let's try this.
The size of a
Can you hear
pack.
now?
And I'm using 32-inch circular
Yes.
needles.
Yes.
We do it. Well, let's take a look. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the work over and just find something that's close to the halfway point. It doesn't have to be perfect, really just anywhere. And then pull the extra cord out there. This is really the starting position for magic loop. You have your needles pointing out to the right and extra cord over here to the left. It's amazing how this works, but it does work. I'm going to push the stitches close to the tip of the needle, and the working yarn is coming from the back needle. I'm going to pull the back needle long, and I'm ready to go. You see I have cords sticking out over here and over here. I have an empty needle in my right hand, and I'm ready to work across these stitches. So I'll go ahead and work across these stitches so you can see what happens next when we come to the next bit of cord. And I'm just working knit 2, purl 2, nothing fancy. You can do fancy stitches on magic loop. Okay, you see here, I've just reached the end of this side.
Okay, so far so good, Kathy?
So far, so good.
Okay, so you get to the end and you've got now, instead of having your right needle empty and long, your left needle is empty and long.
And I have no more stitches on the needle to work. So when that happens, you turn your work and you get yourself back into the starting.
So then you turn your work so that you're ready to knit again, and you push your needle back, your what was your left hand needle now is the needle closest to you. You push it back until both needles are equal again.
starting position of
So that makes sense, right?
your
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna pull that one out.
cord sticking out over here on the left. Then you pull the back cord long and you're ready to go again.
You got it, right?
Yeah, it's that, what's different about this one is pulling that back cord long in the front end.
Yeah.
And I was, because they'd say turn it and then they'd keep going. And I'm like, but I can't move anything.
Yeah. This one was, I saw this one, I don't know, some time ago, and I really liked it.
Yeah, that makes, okay. I think I can do it now.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. That's what we're all about.
I may try it.
Why would you use this technique? I'm not sure it's accomplishing.
Okay. So say you have a little, sorry, I skipped over that whole part. Say you have, an armhole, a sleeve, like if you're going to do a sleeve and knit around and around and around. And if you want to use double needles, you can, you put them on 3 or 4 needles, and then you use the 4th or 5th needle to knit around in circles, right? But because maybe if you put your 16-inch circular needles on, they're still too long and you're stretching your stitches, there's not enough room. So what you do is you get a 32 or a 60-inch cable, and you do this technique so that you can still knit without putting them on double pointed needles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you need to put it on a longer cord.
Yeah, it needs to be a 32 or a 60. I mean, it depends on the circle you've got going on. 24 just, I've found, isn't long enough really to do much of anything. I suppose if you were working on a little sock or a baby sock or something, 24 would be fine. But you want to have a lot of room. You want to have loads of room so that you can feel free to have plenty on one end and plenty on the other,
I think that was the issue on the Ashby tee, which is where I'm stuck on the sleeves because I got so frustrated. It says use the shorter needles, which were 16, and I'm like, I can't get it to work.
Oh no, you can't do magic loop without something really long. Even the 24s aren't going to work for that. You're at least 32. Yeah.
Okay, that's my magic answer. Thank you.
Yay.
We're gonna put that, will that link be on this video also?
Yes, I will do that also. Let me put it in chat again. Whoops, did I lose my chat? There we go.
To pull it up in chat on the recording, I couldn't pull up. How do you find the chat? It's not below.
So, oh, you can't see the chat right now? Oh, no, in the recording, the chat won't be there. No, I try to put the links in the description underneath the video. I probably haven't on every single one of them, but I'm going to try really hard to be better and to make sure that I put them in the description. So look for the links in the description below the video. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Sure. So let's see, we had Diane, no, not Diane. Who else? We've had a couple people join us. Oh, Barb, you've joined us. Welcome. How are you doing? I think you're still muted.
Sorry, thank you. I know I'm really late here and you probably passed this already, but I'm on the make one left and make one right. I just wanted to know if the continued pattern is all in knit or if it's if it's knit one row, purl one row.
Where are you, Barb?
On the finished the beginning on the back. I'm on the make one left and make one right area.
And you're knitting the Lakewood tee?
Oh, the Tulsa, sorry.
Oh, you're on the Tulsa. Okay, that's where.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So make one, let's see what.
So then it says continue as the pattern is established. I'm just wondering, I want to double check. Is that knit one row, purl one row?
Yeah.
Or is it
going
all
to want,
knit?
you're going to want to do, no, you're going to want to do stockinette. You don't want to knit garter stitch. If you knit every row, you would end up with garter stitch.
Got it. Got
You
it.
would end
Okay.
up with bumpies on your front and you don't, yeah.
Okay, super. Thank you. I thought that's the way it was, but I wanted to double check. Super.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Pleasure. Corinne, you're new also, or you're not new. I've seen you before, but I just mean today.
Yeah, I did join and knitting away here. I think I love this yarn. Absolutely love it because I did the other
the Seven Sisters.
The Seven Sisters, right? And that turned out great.
Turned out wonderful. What color are you working on?
For the Tulsa, I'm using the pink, light pink.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that color. Love that color.
Yeah, I'll go with a lot of my wardrobe. So
yeah, beautiful yarn. Beautiful.
It is. It really is.
Has anybody had any trouble with the seven? How many knit the Seven Sisters? So yeah, so several of you. Has anybody had any trouble with the Seven Sisters sagging or growing? Yeah, that's really.
I haven't washed it yet, but.
So it would be during wearing. Yeah, yeah. Okay, excellent, excellent. I think it speaks to, I don't know, the yarn, maybe. I'm not sure, but it yeah, I'm happy to hear that because cotton can grow when wearing. And Kathy, did you have trouble with your Dorothea growing?
Yes. I did.
Seem to remember you did.
I think I'm gonna really adjust my sisters down so that it has, because it does have a lot of give. I may throw mine, wash it and throw it in the dryer a bit to tighten it up a little.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm behind. I've taken on too many projects in my life right now. But I did the Seven Sisters, and I know this is the same yarn. Did everybody have to adjust down in sizes the same as we did on that one?
I adjusted down on both of those projects.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I adjusted down on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the overachiever in the group because I finished this morning. It hasn't been blocked yet. But
oh, nice.
Wow. Oh, it's nice. Can you blow her up?
I did it. I followed the instructions to the letter. And if I ever made it again, the underarm where you it's like you put 6 on hold and then you knit the rest of the way and then you put the last 6 and then you knit to the end and put 6 on so that your yarn is in the middle of the saved stitches. I'd go ahead and knit to the end to those first 6 stitches because you have to do that to be able to do the Kitchener stitch to graft that underarm seam together anyway.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's my only thing is the piece that says split those half on one side and half on the other. Don't just go ahead and knit across to the other 6 stitches so that your working yarn is at the end because it has to be for the Kitchener stitch. Leave a very long tail so you have plenty of yarn to do the Kitchener stitch because I was sweating it there because I didn't want to attach yarn. I wanted my tail to be able to do the stitch, and when I had to knit those 6 stitches to get to the end, that's what made me kind of concerned. I did a knit one, purl one binding on the neck. I may rip it out and try to find a stretchier one because it fits over my head, but it's very tight.
Did you size down?
Yes, I'm 38 bust and I made a small.
You made a small.
And I posted pictures on the Facebook page. It fits snug, but I'd rather it fit snug than. I started on the medium, and I could tell it was just going to be huge. So I frogged it and started over with the small. So now, just like the Seven Sisters, I have a whole skein and half of one left over. So I'm going to have to make another sweater, I guess.
Well, you can do that, or you can return the unused skeins.
It's already been, I've already caked it, so.
Oh, you caked it. Okay. Well, what color is it? Oh, it's Mayflower?
It's the Mayflower, which I love.
That would make a nice hat.
I'm not sure cotton would make a nice hat. I've not done a cotton hat.
Yeah.
You could make a washcloth or something, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I hate to use expensive yarn for that.
Yeah. I'm going to
But
put your
Christmas
name.
is coming. I can make a sweater for a gift. So that's probably what I'll do.
Okay. I'm going to put your name down, and if I think of another option, I'll shoot you an email.
But I like both these sweaters. I really like the Seven Sisters. I wish, to me, this is very similar to the Seven Sisters if you just made the sleeves longer.
Did you feel like here, let me put you big again. Did you feel like the Lakewood, had a little more, how do I put it? Had a little bit more design to it, had a little bit more, I mean, I felt like, the design around the yoke and everything just made it a little bit more special.
Yeah, and I had never made a bottom up before. I've only ever made top down in the round.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do one, and I knew this yarn was fun to work with. It is a pleasure to work with this yarn.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, this will be okay. And I do read through the patterns all the way before I start, and was very confused at the joining the sleeves, but I thought, okay, when I get to it, I will just sentence by sentence do exactly what it tells me to do. And if you do that, then it becomes clear and you think, oh yeah, okay, this will work. I am curious though, because in the first session, we talked a lot about gauge in the round and gauge back and forth. And when you get to the back, you stop doing it in the round and you do back and forth.
Yeah.
My gauge was very similar regardless of what I did. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a problem with it, but I would think people whose gauge is significantly different in the round, how do you adjust for that? Because
well, first of all, I don't think that it's going to be significantly different. I only think it's going to be a little bit different. I think mine was a stitch different between, but that one stitch every 4 inches, is going to start adding up. If I'm making something slightly too big or slightly too small, that's going to add up. I did exactly like you did. I sized down one size of needles, and I usually knit a medium and I knit a small.
Well, I used the size needles. I just.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I just dropped the size.
I'm kind of a
I wish I'd come up a size with the needle though. I think I might have liked the fit a little better. It would have been a little more ease. But, I got gauge, and so I thought, okay, we'll see. And evidently, I tightened up as I knitted. So.
Well, have you blocked it yet?
No, I have not, and that's why I'm not too concerned because I'll block it.
Yeah, you'll get just a little bit of ease, I think, when you block it. Yeah, just kind of encourage it out a little bit, and yeah. I think you'll be just fine. But you just said something that, you have an understanding of what happens that I would like every knitter to understand. And that is, you said, evidently I tightened up as I was knitting. So people, they get gauge, and then sometimes they do a little bit differently as they, you either tighten up, or I know that I change as per even my mood, or if I'm hurrying, or or something, it can change and fluctuate just a little bit. So it's really good that you have an understanding that there are variations, and just because you got your gauge in the beginning, you need to keep in mind that things might alter just a little bit.
But I'm anxious to wear it.
Well, it's gorgeous. Did you post it? I'm looking here in the group. I don't.
Yeah, I did. At least I thought I did.
Well, you probably did. And
You did.
I just had to laugh. Did everybody see Shauna? She posted the 27 color snood on her husband.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've made that too, and I really like it. Only I confess, I ordered my mini skeins from a different vendor, and they didn't give me all different colors. So mine isn't 27 color snood. It is fewer colors than that, but it still turned out gorgeous. It's just not as striking as having the variation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Oh, here you are. Oh yeah, and it's just beautiful, that triangle in the front. I think that's really flattering, that triangle in the front. Aside from being interesting.
I like it on the sleeves too, because it's on the sleeves.
Yeah, the sleeve is beautiful. And I love how the neckline, I love that detail on the neckline. Loving it.
So I could have omitted the last decrease round on the neckline and just started my ribbing there, and that would have made the neck hole a little bigger. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Blocking, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I don't shoot me, but I suppose you could. I hate doing this too, like everybody would. You could take off the neckline and ravel it back to that extra one if it really was a big deal. I mean, it looks great on you. It doesn't, it looks fine. Maybe there is a really loose. Let us know next week if there's a really loose.
I cannot. Yeah, unfortunately, I have another commitment next week, so I cannot participate.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh well, let us know on.
But when I get it blocked, but it'll be probably a month before I'm home and have all my stuff to block stuff.
Okay. You're going back home.
3 weeks here before I get to go home.
Oh, well, that's so nice. You had a little staycation. Yes.
Can I ask about blocking? Do you have to re-block every time you wash a garment? I'm not familiar with blocking that much.
I re-block all of my, I re-block after I wash.
Okay.
Now, I haven't worn a lot of cotton sweaters that I've knit, so I'm not sure, but I kind of think it needs a blocking afterwards. Yeah.
I think I block all of my hand knits after I launder them, because you want to get them back to the size and to lay flat. And even if it's just, I take them into the spare bedroom and lay them out and kind of mush them around until they lay flat in their size.
So if I wash my Seven Sisters sweater and I want to tighten it up a little, if I put it in the dryer for a little bit, would I block it after that or before that? I guess
be really
Yeah, I
careful.
never put my hand mitts in the drawer.
Yeah, she's wanting to shrink it up, I think a smidge. That's a risky game, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna say don't do it.
I might be more inclined to use hotter water and soak it for a little bit and then roll it in a towel and block it after the hot water.
Yeah, you might want
Okay.
to try that first. Yeah.
I'll try that. Thank you.
Yeah. I know on the Eli capelet, this wasn't cotton. I don't know if you remember our Eli capelet knit along. I know somebody, it was too large after they knit it. And so they did throw it in the dryer and it was perfect after they were done. I mean, I'm sure they were careful and didn't, it's a risky game, but I have heard of it working. So you want to really be careful that you don't felt it if it's wool. That's another issue. Yeah. But cotton you won't felt. Yeah. Okay, so on the Lakewood, I think everybody will probably pretty much be done with the Tulsa by next week, but on the Lakewood, if I have a tutorial for the Kitchener, does everybody want to see that next week?
That would be helpful.
Okay, so I'll have a tutorial for the Kitchener. What about, I've put in the wrap and turns. Is there anything else that you're seeing as you move along that you'd like me to demonstrate or make sure I have a video for? I'll look through the pattern too. I haven't knit this one myself.
Next week, if I'm far enough, I'll probably have a ton of questions.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's perfect. That's what we're here for. No, I've just enjoyed getting to know you ladies so much. This has been wonderful. Thank you for spending part of my day with me.
Well, thanks for your guidance. Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing this.
For the help.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I'm working on the urban scarf. for my,
Urban. I'm blanking out. The Urbana?
Urbana scarf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in the gray for my brother. And it's like I'm knitting and knitting and knitting.
It's
that
long.
sucker is long. I mean, it's really long. And
He's
my
gonna be able to
cabling
wrap
is,
it and wrap it.
I'm telling you. That's why I'll hopefully finish it by winter. I've been working at it forever.
That's why it's nice to have a couple of things going on so you can get a break from something and go back to something that you've I'm not an expert in color work, and so I got an idea for kits that I want to do for the shop, and I went off this week and started working on color work, and then after I had a couple inches of that, I went, oh, I need to just knit for a minute. I need to just kind of unwind. And so I know some people, all they do is color work. All they do. I really respect that. I don't think I could do that, but
I'm doing a cowl with some color work because I've never done it before.
How's it going?
It's going really well, but I get help because I'm taking a class just to help with whatever you're working on here.
Oh, nice.
So that's Monday mornings. So it's nice to have something to help, that is different.
Exactly. Variety is the spice of life. So I totally agree.
Yep.
I may have taken it to a level that I shouldn't, but I have so many work in progress. Anyway, okay, everybody, have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the
Thank
sun,
you.
the
Thank
shade.
you.
Liz, in your case, the shade.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday.
Happy
See y'all in
birthday,
a couple
Pam.
weeks. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.